Welcome to the Manifesting Latina Podcast, where you'll learn to unlock your incredible power of manifestation and connect deeply with yourself. I'm Dr. Norma Reyes, your guide and host, helping you manifest a life filled with purpose, abundance, and inner wisdom. Together, we'll dive into the art of manifestation, practical techniques, personal growth, and the magic of aligning with your deepest desires. No more feeling stuck or disconnected. It's time to awaken your inner manifester. Embrace your spirituality and create a life that truly resonates with your soul. Tune in each week to the Manifesting Latina podcast and begin to manifest your dream life. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 120. And if you hear any baby sounds, well, we have a little special guest with us because baby is still home with me. We are just about to hit 2 months postpartum. I don't know why it feels so fast and slow at the same time, but I wanted to talk to you all about believing in yourself. I believe in you. And this episode is going to be all about belief and why I believe in you, in your dream, no matter how big it is, no matter how far away it may seem. Your dreams are absolutely possible. I am here to talk to you and encourage you to believe in yourself. And you can borrow my belief in you until you have built your own belief. So this podcast was created for you, with you in mind, you listening to this podcast. This podcast episode was made for you, to help you believe in your dreams, to motivate you, to give you that fire inside of you and remind you that you're not crazy. That big ass dream you got for yourself, whatever it is, it may not even be that big. Maybe it's a small dream that you have, or lots of small little dreams that equate something big. Whatever it is, whatever desire you have inside of you, I'm here to remind you that it is 100,000% possible for you to accomplish. And this podcast episode was for you. The podcast itself is for you because believing in you is believing in me. Because I believe that I was meant to create this podcast to share my thoughts, my beliefs on manifesting, on reaching your goals, on affirmations, meditations. All of these things are for you. Like I create them for you, with you in mind, wanting to encourage and support you in reaching your dreams and encouraging you to shine your light. It lights me up to think about this. It lights me up to know that this is my dream. I am living my dream of having a podcast. I am living my dream of encouraging you to believe in yourself. So before I just sound on repeat, I'm going to share with you all something I've shared in the past before. So in 2009, when I had my first quote unquote real job, I was working with out of school youth. What that means are high school dropouts, people who didn't complete high school. I was 24, and at the time, I really didn't know, I don't know how to explain this. So I grew up poor. And I thought I knew what I was going to be doing, right? And what kind of people I was going to be working with, like the kids, the students, and their parents. Like I grew up in poverty, but not everyone in poverty grows up the same. There's different types of mentalities. At the time, I'm like, oh, they had a different mindset in regards to, like they were a different type of poor is what I used to say. Now I realize that it has nothing to do with poverty. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with a mindset, right? There was people I encountered that had a lack mindset that I didn't understand at the time because I was only 24, but it really transformed my life. And so while I grew up in an area that was deemed poor, ghetto, poverty. There was gang violence, drug use, and a whole lot of things, right? But I didn't grow up around that, even though it was around me and I could have easily found those things. It wasn't my world. It wasn't my reality. And this, and I don't have a reason other than, it wasn't the path that I took. We all have choices, right? And I can't say that I didn't have that option there. It was a path that was there, but I didn't take that path. And if you did find yourself taking that path, don't feel ashamed. It's just the path that you took for whatever reason. But I'm not going to go into that either. So what I really wanted to talk about was that first, I didn't know how much my parents had belief in me and how much them having belief in me made a difference in who I am and who I've become and who I want to grow into being. I really thought until I interacted with others that were from my community, I really didn't realize that it wasn't the norm. It wasn't typical for people in our community to have people believe in them. And so as I'm interacting with this community, with these kids, I saw things differently. I began to realize that there are so many people that don't believe in themselves or that they had no one ever believe in them. And, parents that believed in their kids, but their kids just did not believe in themselves. So many different variations of this. And as I am interacting with them and learning and growing and understanding, I began to realize what I wanted to do with myself, right? Like I always had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the words for it. So having this job really helped me see what I wanted to do and how I wanted to change the world and how I wanted to make an impact. And so I had another job at the same time because I guess, I don't know, I felt like I had to work two jobs because I didn't have anything else to do. I'm always a person who wants to do a lot of different things. And so at the same time, I also had another job where I would call out of school youth or kids that were being truant. And I would just try to connect with them, build a relationship with them so that I could encourage them to attend school more regularly and reminding them that someone believes in them, right? Because these kids are dropping out of school are being truant for a reason. And so, as you can imagine, calling a teen that you don't know, you've never met in person, how awkward those conversations can be because I literally was just a random person calling them. I never met them. I never talked to them in person. So they're literally getting a random phone call from a person they don't know and doing, just checking in with them. So I had this one call that I still remember. I still remember his voice. I still remember the conversation. And I always ask because it was something that was asked to me a million times. I always ask students, where do you want to go to college? It was a real simple question that, again, I had heard so many times. So I assumed he had heard this at one point. And he pauses and he tells me, Miss, you really think I could go to college? And that's really when it hit me. It hit me that there is people, kids who no one has ever believed enough in them to ask them that simple question. And now I'm not saying everyone needs to go to college or anything like that. It wasn't the question about college. It was the question of what are your dreams beyond this? And I believe in you. And that's why I'm asking you, where do you want to go to college, right? But it was more than that. And it's just so impactful to me because it really transformed my thinking and how I wanted to change the world. Everyone should have the opportunity. Everyone should believe in themselves. And as I answered his question, I told him, of course, that I believed that it was possible for him. He told me that no one had ever asked him that. And I don't know what happened after that. I don't even remember if I talked to him again after that because the kids don't always answer their phone. but it really changed my life in knowing that that's what I want to do. I want to help people believe in themselves. I want to help anyone that is willing to do the work to change their life, to reach their goals, whatever their goal may be. All right. So I want you to know that I truly believe in you. I believe in your dreams. I believe that you're meant to accomplish them. Whatever is in your heart is there for a reason. And we all have dreams inside and they need to be realized. So, will the road always be easy? No. Life is just hard sometimes. But I believe in you. And you can borrow my belief in you and know that it's possible. It can feel like you're all alone or that you're crazy and that your dreams are big. I mean, my dream is to be a millionaire, to have a business that has multi-million revenue. You know, that feels crazy. There's no one around me that I know personally that has grown a business that big. Yes, I have gone through coaching. Yes, I've connected with coaches, but oftentimes they feel far removed. But like, I don't know anyone personally that I grew up with, right? That makes a big difference sometimes when we haven't seen someone within our realm of our community, our family, our friends that we've known for years. When we don't have that, it can feel impossible to really believe in yourself and in these goals that you have. Now, let's take it back a little bit. I have my PhD. I have 3 degrees. I'm a first gen Mexican American. My parents are from Mexico. My mom went up to 6th grade. My dad went up to 6th grade in Mexico. And, they don't have degrees at all. Statistics says that I should have not graduated high school. Okay, if we're going to go by statistics, belief, and those types of things. But here I am. Right. And I don't or didn't at the time, didn't know anyone that had a PhD in my realm of circle. But since the age of 10, I knew I wanted to get my PhD. It was my end goal in my education. Since I was 10, I didn't even know what college was then. The only reason that I knew I wanted to have a PhD was because I read a lot of books, and there was books with authors that had a PhD. And that's all I really understood about that. I didn't even understand what it even meant. I just knew that it was a degree, a high degree, and it was something that I wanted for whatever reason at the time, right? I didn't have like a valid reason. And honestly, that's really what has helped me even earn my PhD was that I was doing it for me. It was something I wanted to do. So when you have dreams and goals that are yours for your own personal gratification, that obviously is going to change the world. You have like creating this podcast was something I wanted to do. And yes, it's impacting people and yes, it's transforming their lives, but it also was something that it was a goal of mine. And here I am. And every time I'm recording an episode, it is a goal of mine that I'm achieving and continuing and moving forward. And did I know anybody in my realm of circle that had a podcast? No. It did take me about 2 years, 2 to 3 years after wanting to start a podcast to start the podcast. So don't be ashamed that you have these goals within you that you don't really act on until years later. So 10 till I don't know, I think I was 30 when I entered my PhD program. 20 years of having built belief. Was I always thinking about it? No, of course not. But it was something that was within me, right? I first had the seed or the idea planted when I was 10, and it took 20 years before I actually took steps. And yes, I had self-doubt before I applied to the PhD program. Yes, I had self-doubt while in the program, but I continued on because I had that belief. And then it was just like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. You know, when you start to build unshakable belief in yourself, in your dreams, no one can stop you in accomplishing them. And I want you to think back to a time that you accomplished something, no matter how small it was, that others told you was not possible for you. And hold on to that and know that you can repeat that again. And what about that particular thing was it that you're just like, I'm doing this no matter what? So I want to remind you, I believe in you. Borrow my belief in you to get yourself started. So, here are a few things that you can do to help you get started towards your goals. Connect with people that have similar goals at you. So, that might sound simple, but maybe it sounds also scary. So, I have some other things that you all can do for yourself. But connecting with people and community is so I don't know how to explain it other than when you find your community that believes in you and believes in your goal, when you're in the midst of building belief in yourself, it is so empowering, especially when you are feeling low. So connect with people that have similar goals and support each other to reach them. And you know what? You don't have to buy into any community. You don't have to, if you're like, oh, I don't have time. That's usually the thing everyone says, I don't have time. We all have time. We have to make time. And it can be as simple as reaching out to someone on Instagram, on Facebook, on whatever social media platform you enjoy. Just be like, hey, I see you. I see your goals. I have a similar goal. I just want you to know that you are inspiring. You motivate me. And if you're ever open to a chat, let's chat, you know, and it's really that simple, but we make it more complicated than it needs to be. Now, if you need to build up to that, build up to that. It's not something that one that was taught or that you can just do sometimes. So first thing, connect with people with similar goals and support them, and then look for support for yourself. Binge content that empowers you in your dream. There is so much free content out there, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever your preferred, there's plenty more podcasts. Binge content that's going to support you and your goals. Now there's books. Go to school and go pick up a book. There is a book that will teach you exactly what you need to know to reach your dreams. So the things are so far connecting with people and binging content. And then begin to look for inspiring stories. There's so many inspiring stories. They don't have to necessarily be about someone reaching the goal that you want, but it could be things like they've overcome things. It'll look at people who have incredible stories, the underdogs that have come up despite the challenges in front of them. It's so easy to get stuck in your issues, your struggles, and feel like there's no way out, that no one else has struggled, and no one else is struggling like you are. The reality is that we're all struggling with something. I've always told my kids, everyone has their cross to bear. I have no idea where I got that because I didn't grow up religious. I didn't really grow up going to church, and I feel like that's a church thing. I did go to church in high school for some years. Maybe that's why I heard it. Anyway, everyone has a cross to bear. We are all having our own struggle. I have struggles. We all have struggles, but don't let your struggle become the main character of your story. Just like any movie, any book that follows the hero's journey, you see that. You see that they have their struggle, but the story is not about the struggle. But if you are making your life about the struggle, it's going to be really hard for you to move forward. So let that go. Look for inspiring stories. Realize that you're not alone in this journey. Everyone is on their own journey to overcome their struggles. Next, make a plan. Make a plan. Be realistic about your plan, and understand that change takes time. Change takes time. Okay. So be realistic with your plan. No, I cannot be realistic I want a multi-million dollar business. It's not going to happen in a year. It's not going to happen in two. It's going to take time for me to build this business. And I don't even have an idea of what the business itself would look like at multi-millions because I haven't even reached a million. I have not reached six figures yet in my business. So it is a realistic plan for me to really look at, okay, what does it take for me to get to six figures? What would my business look like? How would I need to show up? Who do I need to be to have a six-figure business, right? So you got to scale it back sometimes. Yes, you have giant big dreams, and I believe you can accomplish them just like I believe I can accomplish mine. It's going to take time. You need to make a plan, and it needs to be realistic. And you can't just go and skip from step one to step 100 and think that you're going to be successful. So be realistic, create a plan that you can follow, you can stick to reach the next step, the next goal. So last year I made about 36 to 38,000. I can't remember off the top of my head right now in my business. And so my goal for this year is to hit about 50 to 60,000 in my business. Right now, not there yet. Not even, I mean, we're only about ending quarter one, so I'm not at a quarter of that yet. But I have belief, I've had things happen. I've had my baby, so I'm not working in my business full time like I would like to. Does that mean that I should just give up? Of course not. I do not plan on going back to a 9 to 5. That doesn't mean that I won't ever, but I don't know. I am really loving the freedom of entrepreneurship and living my life that I can't imagine that. But I won't say that I will never. I just can't imagine that right now at this point in time in my life. We will see how life unfolds. So make a plan and understand that change takes time. Next, get support. Get a friend, someone that will hold you accountable, hire a coach if needed. Find supports that will help you through these challenging times. I will say that I have had the most growth in my business, in myself, in my belief in my business when I've had a coach, when I've had people to hold me accountable. And not that they're going to tell you, hey, you didn't do this, but people you can share your goals with who will be there for you, support you when you're feeling low, support you when you're feeling great, and encouraging you to keep going. Still get support. Now, the last thing here is my favorite thing to tell you to do. Start a manifesting routine. Start a manifesting routine that supports your goals. This, you can call it routine, your daily routine, your rituals, whatever you want to call it. Just start one that is going to support your goals. What can you do in your manifesting routine, you ask? I'm going to give you the list of things you can try out. Now, I've been creating my daily routine for years now. Years. Even before I started my business, I was starting to have a routine for myself where I would do some 2 minute, literally 2 minutes of yoga. And I still sometimes just do 2 minutes of yoga in the morning. I share this with you because I want you to know that it doesn't have to be this grand thing you do every day for an hour. It really doesn't. And if you are just starting a new routine, keep it to 5 to 10 minutes because if it's longer than that, it's not going to be sustainable and you're not going to stick to it. And we're talking about sustainability. And then, years from now, you're going to continue to add to your routine. It could be your morning routine, afternoon, evening, and you can call it your manifesting routine or whatever you would like. I like to call it your manifesting routine because I want you to create a routine that's going to be supporting your goals. So if you're going to have affirmations, practice daily affirmations in creating belief in your goals and your desires. If you're going to do visualizations, focus time on your goals. If you're going to do gratitude journaling, take time to focus on the positive aspects of your life. If you're going to be doing scripting, and scripting is when you are writing as if things have already happened, do them around your goals. Of course, surround yourself with supportive people, positive influences, and then celebrate your small wins. Okay. Have a routine that is celebrating your small wins. Look for personal development. Look for books, courses, workshops that you can implement into your manifesting routine, meaning like, oh, every day I actually have a book that I'm currently using. It's called 365 Days of Divine Feminine Wisdom. And so I've included that into my routine. It's not in the morning for me. I'm not even sure why I'm not looking at it in the morning, but I look at it in the evenings, maybe because I'm winding down. And that's when I do my book reading, usually around 9 p.m. So things like that you can add into your routine. Again, keep it small. Don't make it this laundry list of things. Pick one of these things. So pick a meditation, pick a mindfulness, pick an affirmation, pick visualizations you can do. And the visualization, you can literally just close your eyes and spend 30 seconds visualizing you accomplishing your goal. It can be that simple. It does not have to be that long. And 30 seconds is actually more impactful and powerful than even doing a 30-minute meditation. Now, meditations are great. And absolutely, if you have time to do longer meditation, that's great. But what's really, really great about doing a 30-second to a minute visualization every morning is that you will get it done. You can do it in bed before you get out of bed, is that it builds that belief in yourself. And if you can continue it longer than you would maybe a 30-minute meditation, which you might be like, oh, I don't have 30 minutes today, I can't do it. And then next thing you know, it's been months since you've done a meditation. But you always have 30 seconds. You always have a minute. And even if you forget to do it first thing in the morning, do it as soon as you remember. Oh, I forgot to do my 30-second visualization. I'm going to do it now. So those are the things you can do. Connect with people with similar goals, support them and support each other. You'll binge content that supports and empowers you to believe in your dream, where you see people going after similar goals. Binge that content, whether it be on YouTube, books, podcasts, whatever it is. Find content of people working towards similar goals, or even just learning on how you can reach your goal. Maybe you're looking at a goal that no one else has already reached or done, but there are supports and things you can do to get there. Look for inspiring stories. Find those underdog stories, and they don't have to relate to your goal, but find those stories when you are feeling like your dream's impossible. When you're feeling low, look for those inspiring stories where people have overcome the odds to help empower yourself and see you're not alone in your struggle. Make a plan. Okay, make a plan. No, it's going to take some time, but make a plan and go back and look at your plan and revise it and see how you're doing. And know that that plan is there to help you, not to make you feel bad, but to empower you to be like, okay, I'm going to get back on my plan. If you make a plan, you haven't revised it or looked at it, or it feels overwhelming, and you come back to it and you're like, dang, I didn't do anything. Just be like, hey, you know what? Life happened. I'm here now. I'm looking at my plan and I'm going to get back to it. Every time you have a setback or you're not getting to where you want to be, just be kind to yourself and be like, all right, here I am. Here I am. Here I am. Here you are right now listening to this podcast. So get back to that plan. And then get supports, a friend, a coach, someone to hold you accountable and support you through the highs and the lows. And of course, the last thing, create a manifesting routine that supports your goals, whatever that looks like to you. It can look like anything. It doesn't have to look like anything specifically. Know that it is there just to help you in your goals. So that's all I got for you all. Remember that I believe in you. I believe in your dreams. And if no one has told you today, your dreams are absolutely possible. So thank you for listening to this episode. And I cannot wait to hear what you create, what beliefs build up within you so that you can manifest your dreams. And share that with me via DM. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Share this episode if you've enjoyed it. Share it on your social media. Share it wherever else. Share it with your friends, with someone that might need this episode to uplift them today. And if you are looking for a coach, I am here for you. Schedule a discovery call with me. I invite you to work with me one-on-one. And I am here to support you and help you believe in yourself, build your manifesting dreams together. I'm here for you. All right. See you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Manifesting Latina Podcast. Did you love today's episode? Please help us grow by leaving a review, sharing with a friend, or on your social media. Let's spread the abundance and fun of manifesting.